All right.
So good.
All right, so we're gonna go into our next part. All right, so we kind of talked about your childhood, right? You done grew up a little bit, and now in between you going into these summers, you started to have babies.
Yeah.
So our next part is kind of all about love and babies, right?
Okay.
So let's talk about your children.
My
Okay, your children. When did you have your first child?
I had just turned 14.
14. How did you feel about that when you found out?
I really didn't know.
You didn't know?
No.
How did you finally find out?
I really can't explain to you how I knew, because I was 13. I didn't really, my parents didn't talk about sex at all. And I really didn't know what happened, because it was only the one time, and I remember that. It was really traumatic what happened to me. And then having Tim, I'm 14 when he was born, and so my mother took over. So my first 3 kids thought I was their sister.
Yeah, for to this day, my
was
mom.
so young.
Yep, my mom calls you Gloria. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gloria. So give us the timeline. So you had Uncle Tim when you were 14, and then who was after that?
And then after that was Leslie,
And you were
like going to 16, and then I had Vet, and their father's the same too.
And
That was
you
my
were
boyfriend in high school.
right,
Whatever.
right. You know, a little high school
Whatever,
love.
yeah.
So 16 going on 17 for my mom. It's Leslie. Vet was 20.
12, I was 20. I
20?
graduated from high school at 20, pregnant with Vet.
Okay, and then after that you had Trish.
Then I got married.
You got
for
married.
the first time.
Right.
My very first marriage, and I had 2 kids.
Okay, and then
Trisha.
that was Trisha and June.
June.
Okay, gotcha. So you gave us a timeline of these kids. What do you think the biggest thing motherhood taught you? Because I know it was a little bit different on the first 3, and it's a different experience for you in that. But overall, what were some things that motherhood taught you?
I think just knowing that I always said that I wanted to be there for my kids, listen to what they had to say. My parents loved me, I know that, and they cared for me, but they didn't always understand some of the things that I went through. And I always said that I would never be like that for my kids. I think all 5 of my kids have this temperament, this attitude, and I think I passed it on to my grandkids. I tell them to respect a person, but that person has to respect you also. And you are not to be cowardly down and scared to speak out. If you see that it's wrong, then ask the question. And so I think I passed it on. One of my kids told me that years ago, that you pass that on to your kids. So
Definitely think I got a piece of that too.
so
Definitely got. Why are we doing this? I don't understand.
Big question,
Right?
big question.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you just really wanted to just be there.
That's it.
And I think that passes down to even my mom. I know she was always like, look, whatever you need, I'm here.
I'm there.
You know, and I love
And
that.
that's the way I am.
I love that. I love that. All right. So we got some motherhood. You got your timeline. So by the time you were 20,
2 and a half, I had kids.
25?
By the time I was 25, I had 5 kids.
She had 5 kids. Boom. Done. Out the way. Right?
Yeah.
Think of it like that, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit about marriage. So you said that you mentioned your first marriage, right?
Yeah.
Just in general, how did you feel about marriage? What did you feel went well? What were some things that you felt like didn't go so well? And kind of just talk about those 2 things.
I think seeing my parents were married so many years, and they were always together. I always put marriage on a pedestal. Well, if I ever get married, I'll be like mom and daddy. Didn't work out like that. Completely different from my father. Daddy took care of him. He was quiet. You know, we knew he was there. He was always there. I never saw my mother and father argue. Never heard them even get loud. And I'm going, okay. I used to ask my brother, is something wrong, mom and daddy? Because they would either take it to another room, or else they would just not talk.
Right.
And so I expected the same thing, although everything was different, but I didn't get what my parents had. So marriage to me was like I wanted it, but I didn't get what I wanted. I had to see my parents.
Yeah. I'm sure that was kind of like interesting to see how you thought and how you saw marriage
Yeah.
played out, and then actually what you received.
Right.
I'm sure that was something very different. So all in all, just think about your marriages and things like that. What did you learn even in the midst of them not working out?
That I can stand on my own. That I didn't have to be scary. I was really afraid because I had bad marriages, and that I could do it. It might not have been what I wanted, get everything I want, but I could carry myself. I
Right.
could do it.
I love
do
that.
it, yeah.
I think that's something that you've passed on from generation to generation as well, because every once in a while I'll be like, you know what, I don't need this, and
That's
be
where
able
I'm
to
at. I'm
handle
out.
it. Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. I love that. I appreciate your strength and all that. I know that, like you said, they weren't the greatest marriages, but knowing that you could stand on your own, I think that's really dope. I
Yeah,
love
I've been
that.
told that I'm too independent-minded for a woman. That that's not good. A man don't like that. I said, well, that's how it is then, because I have to be able to stand. I have kids. I have to be able to understand.